Here's how I got my first internship at 17 years old. So I got my first internship in tech, specifically cybersecurity. So it was a specialist internship, and I got that at 17 years old for me to start when I was 18. So I'm going to be talking about how it actually was in the experience overall and in general, and exactly how you can do the same. So step number one was to identify the opportunity, right? So there are companies out there who will list their internships, but there's also ones out there that don't really, right? And this was one of those cases. So I spent a lot of my time actually learning about the industry and trying to see what's kind of out there in the tech industry that I can kind of capitalize on. And that's when I actually came across a company called F-Secure, and they had a full-time position open for a Linux engineer role. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not a Linux engineer. I was mainly focused on cybersecurity at the time, and I was still a kid. But that got me the actual initial interview. It was a remote interview that was video-based, and it was online, and it was basically Linux engineering questions, but I was answering them with a specialist cybersecurity perception. So this caused the person to actually think, okay, this guy's got good knowledge, but this is for a Linux engineer role. And then what he told me was that the company is now soon opening up a internship for cybersecurity specifically, and he would like to refer me for that. So then I got referred to it. I then got fast tracked by HR to get an interview ASAP. So I had one remote interview, and then I had one in person. So basically what that experience was like was I went all the way up to the London offices, right? There was in Southwark. So I went to Southwark. I was dressed smart in like a suit, not a suit, but like a shirt and like black chinos, right? And like some nice shoes. Came in, I had to as soon as I got in, right, I had to sign myself in. And bearing in mind, this is crazy because I was 17 years old. I was basically still a kid. I was like, what the fuck is, this is crazy. So I signed myself in. I then got escorted to this meeting room area. They got me some water. They said that they would be back in a moment. They left, right? The person who escorted me there, they left. I had about 5-ish minutes on my own, just sitting there waiting. 3 people came in, and 3 people sat, I shit you not, the other side of the table, all looking at me. And I was just sitting there talking to these 3 people. It was a 3-person interview, which is very, very rare. And I was 17, so I was, of course, bricking it. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So then they proceeded to ask me technical-based cybersecurity questions, and I was answering them. And yeah, I was just basically relating to my current position, saying how some of their questions that they've just asked me, that was actually on an exam I had the week before. I kind of remember that, so that was good. And overall, after that was all good. And then basically they all got up. We all shook hands, and then I left. And in terms of what you can do to help get the same, step number 1 is, of course, I've mentioned it, but it's identifying the opportunities. I was on LinkedIn and I happened to apply to that full-time position, knowing full well I couldn't even balance it. So having that opportunity then led to the internship, which was my first step breaking into tech for about, my first time ever. And then